Hello, Nick. Here we are. It is the winter of 1776 turn. Um, our first winter, so figured I'd go over what that means. So in the north, all units only have two movement points if they begin in the northern regions. So that's here in the middle states, New England, and Canada. So I guess really the leaders don't really need to roll for activation up there because they'll only have two movement points anyway. So it's like they failed activation. There's only going to be two action cycles. The river bonus for movement, where if you follow the river the whole way, you get an extra movement point on that river. That doesn't apply in the winter. And at the end of the first winter action pulse, all fleets have to return to a major naval base or Europe. So the only one of those we have to worry about is right here. So major naval bases are either Newport or Halifax. So he'll probably just return to Europe, keeping options open just in case. We don't have to worry about winter quartering during the 1776 winter. Not that we'd really be. I don't think we'd have any concerns there, anyways. We're not big enough yet. So really, that is that, and we moved on. We'll move on. I already rolled for initiative, and the British got it. And one thing that the 1776 year offers us is we can start making armies. And the British want to do that. I almost caused myself some trouble because if you remember Gage, who kind of might have done some dirty with him when I had him go down here with that force, and he really, I don't know, needed to be commanding a bigger force. I don't know if it was legal I did that, but it happened, and we didn't catch it till after, so it was done. So, but the reason I bring that up is in order to create an army, it's got to be 1776 or later. The space needs to have 5 SP of regulars. It's on a friendly named space, not under siege. So I wonder, would Boston be considered a friendly named space? I'll get back to that. It's got a line of communication. And here's where I was talking about Gage. It needs a leader of 3-star rank, and the only leader that the British have at this point is Gage. So if I can do this, I'll be having Gage come out here to activate, to make this army. But let me hold on and double check about that friendly space. I'll be back. Okay, so nowhere in the rulebook can I find anything about friendly named space. I did find a discussion on BGG about it, asking what that means. And funniest post was a friendly space like Philadelphia, because it's the city of brotherly love or whatever. But then Gilbert came on and said that that must have been an artifact of an earlier draft when there were spaces that didn't have names. So I guess every space is considered a friendly named space. If I wouldn't have found that, I would have said that like it has to be in your starting color, which would have greatly hampered the British. So I guess it's a good thing that I looked that up. So we are legal here. We've got a 3-star leader. The space isn't under siege. We've got 6 regulars. We need 5 to satisfy it, so we can make an army. So we've got our choice of this could be the Army of the North or the Royal Army. me see, take a look if there's some requirements that I'm missing to make the Royal Army, and I'll decide which I want to make it. Okay, I don't see anything about like you have to be a certain leader to make the Royal Army. So we're going to consider this the Royal Army. It can operate in what is it? The New England and Middle States regions. The Army of the North can operate there, but also in Canada. So we'll save that for maybe the next army we do. So all these we're going to put up into this Royal Army box. So I guess I'll hold off. Maybe I'll discuss it now so I don't forget. So the advantage of having an army is so 2 leaders you can use. So you use the leader who's in command. So in this case, it would be Gage, who's a D, so he doesn't attribute anything to combat. And then you use another leader. I don't know if that has to go chain of command, but in this case, we would choose Howe. He's an A, so we would at least get, a plus 3 to our roll in combat for that. So we're going to make that, and that is our turn. Now, the way I understand it, well, I don't know if it's the full action pulse or once the British are done with the action pulse that this would have to go back to Europe. I'm going to say it's at the end of the full action pulse. Well, maybe not. He'll go to Europe to satisfy that. Basically, so now Washington is going to do the same thing. He's going to make I think he's got to be Washington's army. So we'll basically move, yeah, he satisfies it. He's got at least 5 regulars, and this is a pretty potent stack here. Washington would give a +2, and Arnold would give a +3. That's going to be pretty potent. So that is that, and also the colonials think they're pretty clever here. They're going to play this parliamentary repressive measures. So the British must move at least 1 force and attempt to have battle on their next action pulse. And if they fail to do that, they're going to cause the British political wall marker to move to the left. So we roll for initiative here. The colonials get it. So on their action pulse, I don't know really what they want to do unless I start building a fort here, but I don't think that's worth it. I could move up. Let me think if there's anything worth doing. Yeah, they're basically not going to really do any activation. Having that card out over here, we're going 3 spaces away, which you can only move 2 in the winter. So they're hoping that any attack would be against here, which would be suicide for the British. The only other spot would be down in the Tidewater or the Deep South, which would also be at some bad odds, but those might be the ones that they end up going for because they wouldn't want to. They really wouldn't want to weaken Boston with this. And for card play on this action pulse, the colonials are going to play Henry Dearborn, and they're going to attach that to one of the SPs in Washington's army. So I don't know. I might have. So here's if I can move these over. So there, I attached Dearborn to the army. so tactical leaders give a +1 to combat for armies. If I had him on an SP before, and there was no army, that +1 wouldn't be given. So at least now he's out there. The Colonials only have 1 card left, so they'll get 2 cards in the early spring turn. So we'll move on with that. So now the British, so the Colonials think they have them in a bind, but in order to satisfy this card, they're going to play Extended March on Burgoyne, or not Burgoyne actually. We're going to activate Johnson, this loyalist leader. He's going to take 1 of these loyalists with him, and with the Extended March, he's able to go 1, 2, 3, and he's got to make an attack here, which is going to be really bad, but it's worse to lose that political will and be 1 away from losing. So I'll resolve that combat, and we'll come back for the early spring turn, which I'll give a recap of that, and then there's some new things that'll happen in the spring. So I'll be back. So just doing a quick recap of the battle here before I forget. It was 1 to 5, and you're not allowed to make voluntary attacks below 1 to 3 odds. I'm kind of going to judge that this is kind of involuntary, because it's you're kind of being forced to do it because the British do not want to have the political will. So I allowed the attack. The final modifiers were like +5 to the Colonials and -2 to the British. The Colonials rolled Snake Eyes, the worst they could do, but the 5 put them up for a loss. So that force is destroyed. Then I rolled for leader exchange, since Johnson had his whole force destroyed, and he was captured and not exchanged. So an anonymous leader goes into the leader pool. So not very good, not real good. The British, I think, kind of wish they hadn't made these dangerous forays and would have just had their reinforcements come to build up. So on to the early spring turn. All right, early spring, 1776. Go over things quick. So on the British side, Gage was removed, and on the Colonial side, Montgomery was removed. The Gage situation was interesting because since I had him leading the Royal Army, he was only 3-star, but also part of this turn, Howe got promoted to a 3-star. So since he was in the army, it's still for sure legal, but I don't. It's not addressed in the rules, I don't think. What if I didn't have Howe there and he was promoted? I don't know. I mean, that's probably a pretty rare edge case type thing. It says transferred Burgoyne and Clinton. I don't quite understand that, because you can do transfers at the beginning of the turn, legal to whatever you want. So I don't know why they're being called out. Cornwallis, Parker's squadron, 3 British regulars, Fraser, and 5 British regulars are waiting in Europe to come on over. And we had 5 Germans and Riedisel show up here in Quebec. So that's pretty interesting. And then deploy magazines. You can only deploy them with German or British regulars. The only legal spots are already basically supply sources. So like here in Quebec, and I mean, if we don't hold Boston, that's not going to be a supply source. So we need to keep it So, I mean, I guess I can put one there, but it's not like it really makes a difference. On the Colonial side, so Montgomery got removed. Lincoln, a 2-star, entered the leader pool, and Schuler, who was here in this was where Montgomery was when he was removed. Schuler got promoted, so we've got a 3-star there now. So it might be another Army coming there, rocking the worlds. So that was basically that. As far as magazines for the Colonials, I mean, I feel like, the Colonials can basically trace their supply to any key spot. So I don't really see the benefit that much, but I did put one, or no, I didn't. I guess I didn't. I put one here. I think that was it for some reason, I guess. Well, you know what, I guess I will put, this also helps winter quartering. I guess I don't, when that point comes, I might really wish that I had a magazine or two. So maybe we'll, I will put the other magazines for the Colonials down here, just to have those options. All right. So last thing now is every. Let me see. Where can I? Oh, you know what? There's some other things I need to do as well. But so every spring, the Continental Levy happens. This is the revised table that was on Board Game Geek. So the Colonials will roll for every region. If there was a region, or if any colony was controlled by the British, there'd be -1. We don't have to worry about that because the British did horrible last turn. So we will roll. So for New Hampshire, Massachusetts, let me just make notes of my rolls so that I don't have to. I can just do it, and then we'll worry about where they go off camera. There is a rule: you gotta, no more than 4 can be placed in a spot, and you have to evenly distribute them. So roll for each region. So here's for New England. Let's see what we get. We get, oh wow, 7. So then for the Middle States, let's see, Middle States got a 6. So pretty much all the lower rolls so far. Let's see for the Tidewater. We've got an 8. So same for them. And then the Deep South. Oh, they got a 2. I'm surprised there's not a roll for you to do where you get nothing. So that's that for the Continental Levy. I'll worry about placing those. The one other thing, well, there's 2 other things that I do remember. We do need to worry about the militias. So starting in 1776, this early spring turn, for every region that the British are in, you roll for militia generation in that region, and then we mark it with that's already been done. So right now the only region they're in is the New England region. So we will roll on that, or right here. So we roll here, and that tells how much based off this they get. So let's make a roll here. Oh, it's only a D6. So I roll a 2. So 1/2 loyalists. I'm a little confused by this, but my take is that would be 1/2 of this. But I'll go ahead and confirm all that. We'll be back in we'll get it on. Other thing I do need to do is this is also the time that cards are drawn. So each side needs 2. So we will be doing that, and I'll just show that when we come back. Okay, so I had to roll for each colony. So what we ended up with was so we got half for Massachusetts with that 2 roll, which came out to be 3. I just put them all there. For New Hampshire, we got the full 6, so you can only place 4 on a hex. So we put 4 there, trying to contain Boston. Put the other 2 up here. I'm assuming that's New Hampshire. I don't know. That's one of the problems with some of the spaces on this map. I'm not sure. I mean, for the most part, know. Like, I'm pretty sure that's New Hampshire, but if you're not in the know, you may not know. I don't know. Rhode Island. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do bad for Rhode Island? Yeah, I kind of cheated there. I rolled a 2, but then I still gave the full amount. So Rhode Island should only have 2. Cheater. Yeah. So the only place they can go is there. They'll help defend Newport. And then Connecticut rolled a 6, so they get a full 6. So put 4 there on the outskirts of New York, and the other 2 there to defend against maybe a seaborne invasion. The Colonials with their rolls for the Colonial Levy, put 1 here in New York, the 1 over here in New Hampshire, 1's going into Washington's army, which I'll put that there. Pennsylvania, or no, actually, Trenton, New Jersey. Yeah, that's here it is. Like, this is Trenton's New Jersey, but it's kind of in the middle. So if you don't know, 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Maryland, and then 2 down here in Virginia. So that's the placement. I guess goals for the turn for the British. They need to get those forces from Europe down here. They might, if they can do it, they might land in Boston and make an attack out. Maybe try to get Newport again. Though maybe they just should consolidate and get ready to go against Washington. Need to get down here. Figure out something here. Need to get strengthened here. They're very much in danger of losing Ticonderoga again. There's enough here and a 3-star leader that making another army is very tempting, but that would take a turn. So I don't know if the Colonials want to rush it. Don't know. I don't know. The British just need to make something happen, but they can't be too crazy. I almost feel like the Colonials is I want to go for the home run. I mean, I want Washington to attack Boston and possibly throw them out, and that would be a huge blow at this point, I think. And then just start going into Canada and clean up these little remnant loyalists down here. I guess that's what they're doing. And oh crap! I still need to draw cards, don't I? Let's roll. See who draws first, and then we'll go back and forth. So it looks like the British goes first. So the British currently have. We'll move these up here. All right. So the British currently have Tarleton ready to deploy with their army, which, you know what, they could have done that. Yeah, when they made their army, they would have. That was dumb. So we'll just retroactive, and we'll say they did that. I don't know why. I don't know. Well, unless, you know what, maybe they'll hold. Maybe they'll maybe that army's in a tenuous spot, so they'll just they'll think like maybe we should wait and see. All right, so the first card goes to the British. It's a battle card. Next card goes to the Colonials. Daniel Morgan, another tactical commander. So if we do make an army at Albany, he'll be going on there. Here's the third card for the British. So an extended march. So nice balance. And then the card for the Colonials is another battle card. All right, so that's it. When we come back, we'll have a recap of the early spring 1776 turn. So the early spring turn of 1776 is done, and the British pretty much are non-existent in the northern states. Started out with Washington deciding to make a go at Boston. He made a circular route and collected up some militia and regulars and made the attack. And I think it was pretty bloody. I think it might have been 2 losses each side. But since, what was it? Washington's army was on a higher number of was on a higher column because of the number of SP they had compared to Howe's Royal Army. So Howe had to retreat. I think he retreated. Yeah, he retreated to there, and immediately so the very next turn, he used 5 SP of the British transport capacity to get that army out of there, and they went around and ended up in New York. Then the next turn, they won initiative, and they thought, hey, here's our shot. We go at Schuyler, and or wait, maybe that, they went first actually. Actually, I think the British won the initial initiative, and they brought Riedesel down here to solidify hold on Ticonderoga. Then Washington attacked. So now on the second phase, Howe decided to take a shot at Schuyler, and it seemed like it made sense because he had an army, so he had like +5. He was a little smaller, but again, the dice did not fare well, and he ended up having to retreat. I think it was they both, I think, lost 1, but it was a tie. It was like one star, 1 star, or 1 2-star, or 1 2-star. So Howe retreated back, had the demoralized. So then Washington flew over here and attacked him, beat him again, pushed him back. Then the Americans won the initiative, and Washington chased him all the way over to here. He just kept retreating. Through all this, he was down to 1 SP left, and at that point, on the next turn, they used another point of British transport capacity, which they started for the whole year. They had 10, and they're already down to 4. And he fled to join up with some other British leaders down here in the south. So little action going on down here. Clinton was with Howe. So Fraser had a force of 5 regulars headed down this way. Cornwallis had a force of 3 regulars headed down this way. And then Graves was supposed to give naval support for the amphibious assault. Well, it took like 2 turns, and Fraser ended up getting there first. Graves didn't arrive till the following turn, and Cornwallis till the turn after. So Fraser ended up taking this. Attacking it. We had another militia roll since it was the first time the British had entered. So that just added 1. So it was 5-2 without naval support, because you're like -3 to your roll. They added in a battle card and ended up wouldn't have even needed it, but it was pretty important to be safe. So they killed one of the colonials, and the militia unit fled over here. So then Cornwallis left a force to hold that, because you need 2 SP to hold it, and went over here and collected. There was a loyalist here, and he's poised to do something. How did he finally had enough of Washington going after him, and did his little transport over here, and then on the last turn he made a new army, because he had disbanded the Royal Army, which is a little weird. Like, you got to have 5 SP to make it, but it says that even when you go below that, you don't lose that. So it's still weird. You're under 5 SP, but you're still getting the army benefit. It just seems weird. But when he was down to 1 SP, it just wasn't worth it anymore, since that army is restricted to where it can go, and he wanted to just get out of Dodge. So he down here, he formed the Army of the South, and they're going to try a little Southern strategy, I think, from now on. Washington, on his last turn, just went through, left some people here in New York, and gathered up some militia and headed up this way. So looking like maybe he's going to go see what Ticonderoga looks like. So there we go. Hopefully, I don't know. I have plans of what to say, and also when, I guess I should say, when Rediesel entered Ticonderoga, those were regular troops, so that caused the militia in the middle states to happen. I think the militia can only stay in their region, so they can't go. Ooh, which I messed up then, because so there was a 4 spot that he took from New Haven, so that actually can't leave, because the militia, unless it's one of the starting militia that has a little dot on it, which I don't even know if we have any of those left, they have to stay in their region. So so Washington's not as powerful as he... Where did that... You know what? Wow. So I think I messed up. So I took some militia out of Massachusetts, the New England state region, in my attack against Howe. And then it's funny, because when I placed the militia, I didn't place them with his army, because I knew that, like, hey, those have to stay there, and if I have them on the army display, I probably won't think about it. So that's kind of a thing that kind of sucks. The militia are supposed to stay in their own region, so I kind of cheated there. I don't quite know how to fix that. I think we majorly screwed Howe on that. But I don't know. That's how it is. You got to remember the rules. If you don't, you screw it up. And a lot of bit, whatever struggle having with the rules is just kind of amplifies it, I think. So we'll probably just go from there. I don't feel like trying to figure out how to go back. Maybe I'll, I don't know, throw some extra loyalists. Loyalists aren't restricted that way, though. I don't know. Maybe I'll give some of the force that Howe lost in that. He never. Yeah, there was. I think he got caught once by Washington in trying to retreat because he rolled a 6. I don't know how big of a difference it would have made. I don't know. Not gonna worry about it. We'll just move on. But as long as I don't remember after the fact rules that I screw up, I'm enjoying it. It seems easy from how I think the rules wise should be. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I've got to find a way to not probably put so much on camera. I think so far I've pretty much shown everything. One thing that we're gonna see is the loyalist rolls, which I should have probably done already. The British have 4 of these chits, one for each region, and they can use one to make basically what the militia roll is for the colonials, and I'll probably do that starting out down here in the Deep South, trying to build up that army. So just got to be careful when your army crosses boundaries of the regions, because you can't be pulling those militia with it. Man, I feel bad about that. I don't know what kind of, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference, but yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I'll quit whining and complaining. Hopefully I talked loud enough through this. Hopefully I was making sense. I feel like I have kind of in my head what I want to say when I hit record, but then it gets going and I just get rambling and forget things. So anyways, we'll talk later. Bye.